Hello, everybody. If you're watching on Twitch, we already started, but if you're watching this replay on YouTube, I'm just restarting it here so you get a nice point to start this thing off. This is bound to be a fun one. This is the first in the series, Bad Blood, and this is Bad Blood number 1. No one's getting murdered here, except maybe in the gameplay. Here's where we settle beef, and the beef today is Miniminter and Anaban, who've been going back and forth on Twitter. Instead of insulting each other online, how about people put their money where their mouth is and actually play some Clash Royale? So it's a best of 5, ban on first loss. I'm Rich Slaton, by the way. Did you know that? If you haven't yet, go ahead and use code RICH right up there. Boom. Code RICH. That's your best way to support me. Use it for all your Supercell games. It's super duper cool. And yeah, we're about to start off with Miniminter versus Anaban. I guess these guys have been feuding for a long time, but it kind of really blew up on Twitter yesterday, and I decided instead of having these guys fight it out on Twitter, bring it into the arena. So let's go game number 1. Anaban fighting out of Mexico. Miniminter, the Peruvian, going head-to-head here in a best of 5. Ban on first loss. Let's go. Super excited about it. Miniminter was... part of this beef is, I guess, over insults about who has and hasn't been in CRL. Obviously, both these guys have a reputation for talking some trash here and there. Miniminter was meant to be on a CRL team and unfortunately wasn't able to participate. But, and Anaban, of course, part of Chivas esports for a season, and you know, his run in NoTilt League Special Edition went really well, and then CRL didn't go as well. And some people saying it's because, I think Trainer Luis of Space Station Gaming saying it was because they leaned on Anaban too much during NoTilt League and exposed too much of his deck pool, and it was easy to game plan against him going into that very short CRL season. And it's Miniminter going Ice Rocket. I guess there's an Expo in there as well, but let's call it Ice Rocket. Let's call it what it is. And it's going to be Graveyard, Splash Yard for Anaban. Here we go, setting up with Expo on the right-hand side, Bomb Tower high, Knight in front, attempting to protect. And the Skeletons go outside, expecting the Bar Barrel, and that will be a small connection on the right-hand side for Miniminter. Yes, this is a best of 5, for those of you guys asking in the chat. And so far, it's been very meta for these two. No one taking big, crazy risks in game number 1. We have not seen Anaban go Pekaloon freeze. The question is, will he get there at some point today? You know, very different. Anaban, people thought he wasn't going to be able to do well in competitive play, thinking of him mostly as a sniper from ladder. And then he proved everybody wrong in the NoTilt League Special Edition. And the Knight does not pick up the aggro of that Expo. Huge Expo connection on the right-hand side. Now Graveyard in on the left. Poison trying to help out a little bit so those Skeletons do disappear. And that's going to be pretty even on damage as we come out of this one. I mean, that's almost a dead heat here. 19 HP separating these two. Is it Jugadores? Jugadores? I took French in high school and I barely remember any of that as well, but these two players very close, and look at the cheeky NATO out of Miniminter. No worried about a King Tower activation because he wants to get that Expo connection, and that's a huge Expo connection. Then you get the Rocket on the left-hand side. Has to defend against this Graveyard, but that Expo will get the right-hand tower down. This Graveyard has a big chance, though. Oh, and just barely dies on the Vine. Cheeky NATO play out of both of these two, but coming out of game number 1, it's going to be a 1-game lead at the moment for Miniminter taking number 1, and this is exactly the kind of gameplay that we had hoped to see. Checking out the stats powered by Royale API. You can see the matchup data for this one pretty deep. Everyone might have their opinion on what the matchup would be, but the data here has that pretty even throughout the game overall. That was a fun one, that's for sure. Expo, the ban for Anaban. So we'll get that one loaded in here. Expo will be the ban as we move forward. And you understand why after seeing that one, and of course want to take that out of the hands of Miniminter, who did very well with it. Let me go ahead and get that. I'm doing all this on my own, folks. Let me go ahead and get that Expo ban prepped and loaded in to our overlay. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. Game number 2 should be coming your way in just a moment. Guys, you're like, hey, Rich, why are you wearing sunglasses? Because I want to. And because I'm trying to get this company gooder. They're my favorite sunglasses. I want them to sponsor the channel. So I'm going to be wearing sunglasses on the stream pretty much until they actually throw me a sponsorship. That's what's happening. And then once they do, I'll keep throwing them the sunglasses on in stream because, well, that's what you do when you're sponsored. So we'll see what happens. Let's go ahead and jump in to game number 2 right now. Miniminter with the lead, 1-0. The ban is Expo out of Anaban. Miniminter has been on my channel plenty of times. Might be the most featured player on my channel. Most of that because when I was running my weekly 100 on Trovo, Miniminter ended up winning it 3 or 4 times. He's one of the winningest players on my $100 open tournament. Got to the point where I basically just should have made a regular deposit into his PayPal account for how often he won it. But this might be the biggest matchup he's actually had on the channel. Hey, Revel Amar in the chat over on Twitter. Or on Twitch. Of course, Mini does appear later today in the CWA Cup 2. For those of you who are following along with that event. So another Graveyard variation from Anaban, and of course Graveyard from Miniminter as well. I do think I like the Archer's chances a little better. And the one thing nice about Archers in this matchup for Anaban, as opposed to something else he would throw in the Poison, is the Snowball for Miniminter is great for creating room inside a Poison against some sort of drop that's meant to pick up shots, right? But since those Archers are typically played lower against the Graveyard, Snowball not as good in this matchup as it might have been if there were, for example, Goblins or Gang or something like that. Mega Knight comes through. Knight should be readily available for Anaban to hold the Mega Knight high. Decides not to hold the line here, so the Mega Knight is tanking, and you see the difference in Graveyard placement. One tile to the left for those of you. And there you go. Knight going for a King Tower activation, and it's up. Huge King Tower activation for Anaban in this one. Mini trying to get some room with the Snowball. Not going to do it. That King Tower activation could end up being the deciding factor in this game. Very nicely played by the young man out of Mexico. And again, as I was talking about, you see the difference in Graveyard placements. That's because the Skeletons are spawning closer to the edge now. And so changing the traditional placement of Graveyard now gets more guaranteed shots. And you see how much work that Graveyard gets against Poison here for Anaban as we go into the final 20 seconds of regulation time. It is the famous Sniper with the lead. You got to imagine that it's going to be very difficult. It will probably take a mistake for him to sacrifice the lead at this point. Graveyard in for Anaban. Hunter in the back right now. For Mini, drops his Mega Knight right in the middle. Poison going to get, and that's a great Poison positioning. Look at Anaban's Poison placement there, getting on the Brawler as well. Really, really well positioned by Anaban. Didn't just throw the Poison out there, but made sure it got a ton of value. Bar Barrel here to stick all of that high and let the Bomb Tower do its work. I am really excited about this matchup just because of the beef between these two, but the gameplay is certainly living up to the hype. Here we go, Snowball in from Miniminter, trying to hold things off, but it looks like it's going to be a done deal. Not quite one Poison to finish things off. Going to need 2. Anaban will probably go for one more Graveyard at some point here. Most likely going to see it come in right here. There you go. Knight across, and at this point, Miniminter is just saying that's it. He knows. Waving the white flag. And we are all tied up 1-1 in this bad blood matchup. Good matchup there for Anaban. And expertly played. Perfect King Tower activation. And Miniminter is banning Tornado. So that will now be off the board for the remainder of this game. Or of this match. Let me go ahead and load that one in. Let me find out where I even have my Tornado in my set of cards for the bans. There we go. And Tornado will be the ban for the remainder. No longer available in this one. We're going to jump into the action here in just a moment. Is this a tournament? Asks Dennis in the chat. No, this is straight up just a best of 5, bury the hatchet, Bad Blood 1. I want to make this a series of people settling their beef. They've been arguing on Twitter, and this is to put some milk into your mouth after the salsa, right? Take the heat down a little bit. One of these two will win. Walk away with $100, $50 from me, by the way, and $50 from Drexen, who might also be in the chat here. But after this match is over, it'll be appearing on my YouTube channel to rewatch, and also in Spanish on Drexen's channel as well. Those are the two exclusive places to find this fight. And yes, this is a best of 5. It's tied up 1-1. And I am certainly enjoying it so far. So looking like it's going to be maybe that new bridge spam deck out of Anaban. Mini threatening left-hand side, Barb Hut down. And it's Ram Rider, not bridge spam. And look at that. The Barb Hut played low. Raged up Ram Rider will get a big-time connection on the left. eWiz can't stop it. And there you have it. A huge, huge opening blow from Anaban. That Barb Hut surely provides value in one direction, but you spend 7 elixir that can't counter the opposite lane, and oh no, you see the result here. Of course, this looking like graveyard for Miniminter means that he could turn this on a dime at any second. Now just has to play some solid defense here and not allow any more breakthroughs from those Ram Riders. If he does lose that left-hand tower, this goes from advantage Miniminter to advantage Anaban very, very quickly. And there you go, Barb Hut down. Not going to be able to deal with the Heal Spirit. So the Barb Barrel comes out late. Heal Spirit does give a lot more life there. I'm going to take... No, the Knight comes down. No, he does take one shot. One big shot from the Barbarian left-hand side. 6:45 remains as we go into double elixir time. It is the King Sniper himself with the advantage. A lot of big names in the chat. Morton of SK Gaming just showed up. Everyone wants to see how this one gets settled. Fireball low takes out the eWiz, and Anaban with a huge advantage, but now Barb Hut Graveyard left-hand lane. Mini's deciding to just play straight into this position where Anaban can build for a counter push. So you understand why I wanted to support the Barb Hut that he played on that same side, but this could be detrimental to his long-term success. Of course, down at 743, already in trouble. One more value Fireball could really turn this entire thing over. And Anaban goes high with the Fireball. Nice play there, not trying to press the value on the left-hand side. 473 remains. And a nice Bandit high to force the Barb Barrel out on the Magic Archer, and a perfect Heal Spear. Anaban's playing a gem of a game right now. Ram Rider into the right-hand side. Anaban happy to switch lanes. eWiz low to work on the Ram Rider and the Bandit. Fireball high to stop the big counterplay coming into that left-hand side, but Miniminter doubles down anyway. Magic Archer behind and way behind King Tower. Take a look at that placement out of Anaban, so that Magic Archer can help work pretty nicely on this graveyard. Minute 18 remains. Barb Hut down to defend the left-hand lane. Mini's going to have to find some way to defend this Ram Rider, and that Heal Spirit going to make things much, much more difficult. Ram Rider does not connect, just barely, and now Mini might set up to the right-hand side, and that's good geometry on the left-hand lane for the Magic Archer. Baby Dragon high, 58 seconds left. Ram Rider to the right-hand lane, and this Ram Rider could be the one that does him in. Ewiz trying to hold on and reduce the damage for Miniminter's right-hand tower. 877. Look at that. Graveyard starting to make a bit of a comeback in the left-hand lane. Ram Rider high here. Heal Spirit to keep, or sorry, Lumberjack high. Heal Spirit to keep that Lumberjack up a little bit longer. Knight going to the left-hand side. Anaban has to play some defense over here. Miniminter trying to go in as hard as he can and does get the Ewiz down in time on the right-hand side. 25 seconds left. Graveyard not getting much courtesy of that Magic Archer, but there is a lot on the board on the left-hand side. Baby Dragon and Mega Minion, and that's going to get that Inferno Dragon down. And here you go. Miniminter switching lanes, but Anaban picks up the Knight on the right-hand side, so no tank gets through. Ram Rider does connect, making it even that much harder. Poison Graveyard trying to steal things on the right. Not going to get it done. Anaban going to go up 2-0 in this BO5 Blood match. 2-1. 2-1, guys. Not 2-0. 2-1. Very, very well played by Anaban. Let's go ahead and take a look at the stats from that one. You see the matchup data does have that one pretty heavily for Miniminter, and a lot of people in the chat saying even more so. And really a lot of it came down to two plays. The initial Barb Hut being played and Mini having no response for the Lumberjack Ram Rider on the left-hand side that took a huge chunk out of it for Mini. And then the other one was the protection of the Magic Archer high, the Bandit coming down against to stop the Baby Dragon of Miniminter, forcing the Barb Barrel out, and that continued to put Miniminter further and further into an elixir hole. And now here we are, Anaban having match point. Remember, it's not $50, it's $100 on the line, 50 from me and 50 from Drexen. And guys, while we're calling this the Bad Blood matchup, and of course these guys do have a bit of a beef, they're both excited. They're both excited to be here. They both really want to play this match. So I know everyone here is having a good time with it. But big thanks to Miniminter and Anaban for going, hey, you know what? You're right. Let's go ahead and do this for real. So excited that they're both here. Let's jump into game number 4. Anaban with match point. Let's do it. Thank you, Morton, for the compliment on the glasses. I am not sponsored by Gooder, but I certainly want to be. So, you know what? Enjoying them on the streams these days. Might become the thing. It's already in my logo, so why not just make it the straight jam? Here we go. Ewiz down for Anaban. Ewiz is on both sides, so despite the nerf to the Electro Wizard, still pretty much in the mix. That Sun's still very, very valuable, and Royal Ghost goes left-hand lane. Looks like it might be Royal Giant for one of these two, if not both. First significant connection, and there you go. Aggressive RG on the right-hand side. Fisherman right behind, and Miniminter going Fisherman low here, but with nothing to help on the DPS. So that's going to be some pretty good damage there from Anaban to open things up. 1772 on the right-hand side, and now Miniminter falling further behind. Mini sets up Mega Knight to the left-hand side. So even with a bunch of balance changes, Royal Ghost, Ewiz, Hunter, and Fisherman still pretty central to the meta. And here we go, E-Barbs. You wondered if you would see them today, and Mini with the, or Anaban with the current damage lead, and of course the one game lead, decides to go E-Barbs in game number 4. Very curious to see how often they appear this weekend in CRL. I expect we'll see some of it. I have run into this particular E-Barbs Royal Giant construction this week. Not the first time seeing it. It's super weird to see Elite Barbarians actually having a true place in the meta. Of course, that bridge spam deck where the E-Barbs replaced the Royal Ghost seems to be the most popular one right now. Currently, it is the most played deck according to Royale API. And there you go, Ram Rider in, Mega Knight behind. And that's a lot on the board right now for Miniminter, and a huge Mega Knight leap. Ewiz gets pulled. Hunter gets pulled, and Miniminter now just starting to spam the bridge. Royal Ghost goes invisible and gets all the way through, goes right to the Fisherman. So a good pickup there by Anaban, falling behind on Elixir and losing that damage lead. Remember, the bans are Tornado and Expo, for those of you who didn't pay attention to the right-hand side of the screen, where they are very clearly and largely placed. Let's go. Sudden death overtime. Anaban, if he can hold on to this lead, wins $100, and of course the pride of this matchup. Miniminter trying to get back in this one, and right now it looks like we're going to go to a game number 5. Things looking dire for Anaban in this one. Hunter and Ram Rider, that's a fireball that had to come out on defense, and Ram Rider does not connect, so holding on for the moment. And Miniminter cycles Hunter to the left. Was that a misclick here? Or is he just, now he has to double down on it? I really feel like that might have been a misclick to go into that lane, but, you know, who knows? Maybe he's doing something that I didn't think of. And nice E-barbs there to take care of the Hunter and trying to control this Mega Knight the best that he can as Anaban. Log to make a little bit more room. Ram Rider comes into the right-hand side, and now trouble in both lanes. So this must have been the game plan that Miniminter had, was stretch his opponent a little bit thin, and now Miniminter has very, very clear options on both lanes. 2 HP separating the left and right-hand tower of Anaban. Fireball comes in from Anaban to the bottom right-hand tower, now reclaims the lead 12-42. And Royal Giant at the bridge, but the Fisherman's in the opposite lane here, so cannot support that Royal Giant at all. That's a lot of Elixir spent on offense in the opposite direction, and now it's going to be an absolute torrential downpour in the opposite direction. Fireball trying to help Anaban play some defense, but these Mega Knights and Ram Riders all over the place. And when I say Mega Knights and Ram Riders, it feels like there is an army on the board right now. We are going to go to game number 5. You know, sometimes you book one of these matchups and it turns into a 3-0 blowout, and sometimes it lives up to the hype. We're going to go ahead and get the stats hopefully updated here in just 1 second. We're taking a little bit of time. Let me see if I can get this to reload and update correctly. Well, it looks like the stats for that one aren't going to reload. So let's go ahead and jump into Game 5. Thought we'd probably get our stats in here. Let me try to reload those one more time. And it's, hold on. There we go. All right, guys. We are ready for it. The beef living up to the hype. Game number 5, Anaban and Miniminter. Let's go. Goblin Cage down for Mini. Miner to the safe spot, right into an Ice Wiz, and looking like Graveyard. Interesting to see Valken here from Miniminter, so maybe he was thinking that he'd be facing against either Graveyard or something swarmy. And Fireball trying to get some room, and the Valkyrie does connect for a shot, so solid Fireball out for Anaban. The question is, does he have to get back around to play defense against this balloon deck? You got to think he's running NATO. Oh, no, NATO's banned, so never mind. Tornado banned. Ice Wiz, Bomb Tower, and a non-Tornado deck. Very interesting choice out of Anaban. 1875 left-hand side to 2070 in that same lane. So very curious to see all this splash with no NATO out of Anaban. I'm wondering if he accidentally put a NATO in here and has have to play with 8 cards. We'll see. That, or he's just playing like a splashy Graveyard with no NATO. But this does feel like a deck that itches. And Boss saying, Ojo El Pompeo deck. Is this a Pompeo Loon deck? Or are you talking about Miniminter? And the balloon does not connect. I don't know if the fireball was necessary, but it did do its job at the very least. 1575 to 1926. Baby Dragon will not get a belch on the right-hand side. Ice Golem, maybe not necessary for that defense, but now loading up on the right-hand side is Miniminter. And a solid zap. Fireball does come out. And now it's Anaban with the lead, and it is Balloon. Goes with the bar barrel in the middle, maybe trying to predict the Goblin Cage. The cage does not come out now. And instead, it's the Fireball on defense for Miniminter. Ice Wiz to the right-hand side. Baby Dragon in support. And now loading up is Anaban on the right-hand lane. Miniminter counter-pushing with his balloon, but the balloon of Anaban will connect. Huge connection from Anaban. Fireball on defense to stop the balloon on the other side, and that is massive from Anaban on the right. That tower down to 666, mark of the beast. And right now, Miniminter might want to make a deal with the devil to stay in this one. 90 seconds left. Mini setting up Miner Loon left-hand lane. Bomb Tower working on it. Baby Dragon to get the Miner down and then help with the defense on that balloon. A little more direct damage available for Miniminter with that Miner rather than Anaban, who does have to break through besides the Fireball if he wants to get in on the right-hand side. And now Ice Wiz, Bar Barrel start working on that right-hand lane. Bomb Tower does come in. Miner goes right to the Ice Wizard. That balloon, though, shouldn't be a problem. Fireball comes in, and the balloon is going to die. Maybe that's in range for death damage. Let's take a look, and it is. 970 remains on the right-hand side. This is tight, folks. 53 seconds remaining. That balloon not going to do a darn thing on the right-hand side for Anaban. He sets up on defense, and look at that. Tries to predict the Miner, but goes with the Bar Barrel and does not pick up the Miner, and just like that, the Miner makes a big lead here. 6:54, an all-important lead for Miniminter as time is ticking away, but the bomb does not connect. Oh my word, folks, 6:54 to 6:66. This is insanely tight, and looks like Anaban has no way to deal with the Inferno Dragon on the right-hand side. Needs to find some way to break on through. Fireball on defense, not going to do much here for him, and Miniminter in a good position to take the win here in game number 5. Ice Wizard to the right-hand side, 14 seconds left, and that should be it, folks. I don't know if there's any way here for Anaban to get back in this one. Miniminter throwing the thanks out there, a little BM, and the well played from Anaban. And folks, I don't care who you were rooting for. This was the matchup we wanted to see. A whole lot of fun, exciting plays from both sides, and I enjoyed the heck out of it. Miniminter comes from behind, down 2-1, wins 2 in a row, and gets a big, big time win. Guys, that was so much fun. That was so much fun. Interesting deck selection, of course. I don't have. Let me see if I can actually get these over the post-game stats overlay to work. It has not been cooperating. There we go. Let's take a look at the post-game stats in terms of the deck selection here, and no direct matchup data on these two. Nothing like really, yeah, you see 6 of 8 is the closest that we get. Anaban, I don't love this deck selection without Tornado. I see what he was going for here, nearly pulled it off, but don't love the deck selection without Tornado. But I do respect what he was going for here. It was a whole lot of fun to watch. And both these guys played really, really great. Some mistakes, some OP plays, and this was exactly what we wanted to see. So thanks to both these guys for playing. Thanks to all of you who came here to watch. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're here watching for the first time, go ahead and throw a follow on the channel. I do bring a bunch of Clash Royale related stuff. If you're on Espanol, I'm one of the casters. I'm Koji, but for English. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Rich Slaton. I'm a caster for Clash Royale League. Hope you enjoyed it. For those of you watching this on YouTube, that's the end of the video. Don't forget to subscribe, of course, to the channel, and use code RICH in all of your... Where is that code RICH? Boom! Come on, code RICH. the animation's not working. Oh well, throw it in on the back end. Don't forget to use code RICH on all your Supercell stuff. And for those of you watching on YouTube, peace. I'm Rich Slaton. This is the best place for Clash Royale esports.